Hello, people. It's Friday. These weeks go by so darn fast. I polished the hood. Now I need someone to come finish the Tesla as I finished polishing
the rest of it.
Yeah, I need to have Rex come over and finish it for me. Single step though, so shouldn't take too long. Should be pretty
Soft, is it hard?
pretty basic.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just normal paint. It's not soft or hard or anything like that.
How long did it take you to do the hood?
I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. But anyway, what's going on, people? It's Good Friday, another day in the life, and I'm sure we got some people yelling at me. You got some weird questions. I'm sure I'll yell at some people back, and it'll be a good day. So
that's what constitutes a good day. Get some yelling each way. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Mateo, what a shameful question that is. Is this channel Canadian or U.S.? Oh, Mateo.
Maybe Canadian someday. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Not today, though. James Dunlap, can you give us an update on the snub nose attachments for ego blowers? Yep, we're still working on that, getting details ironed out. Also, what model ego blower do you recommend? So I know you don't.
I mean, I like the 580 the best, but it's too hard to get, so you might as well just get the 650. But the problem with the 650 is so shrill. It's like that little bit of extra output that just makes it. Like you could blow off the driveway with the 580 without any ear protection, but you don't want to mess around with that 650, man. It'll blow your eardrums out. So yeah, I mean, I like the 580 if I have the choice. You know, it is kind of nice if you get the 530 and you get just the regular battery, the 2.5 amp hour battery. It's a lot lighter. So if you're a wee little lad, then you'll want the 530. They all do the job. So they all do fine. You can't get hung up on specs. It's just, more of how much money you want to spend. But I mean, I have the three of them, so I could test them out, and I do prefer the 580. I think that's a sweet spot. But again, I don't think that one's very readily available.
All right, let's see here. We got folks checking in from Seattle, Cincinnati. Welcome. Belgium. That's cool. G. Burke e-bike wants to know, how's the mountain biking going? Have you gotten out there lately?
Yeah, been out the last 2 weekends. Yeah, nothing. I don't even know. Again, I don't think I'd call it mountain biking. It's more of a trail riding on a really fancy mountain bike. But yeah, it's fun. We get out there and we did. I think we rode 15 miles 2 weeks ago, and maybe 10 to 11 miles, something like that. Just kind of out putting around. We had taken a first timer out last weekend.
And a follow-up question here: do you have the mountain bike rack for the Tesla yet?
Yeah, I got the Sea Sucker thingy, the little suction cup to the glass. So yeah, I haven't tested it out yet, but I'll make a video on testing it out. And when I test it out for the first time, drop the car on the the hood or something stupid.
Any updates on a nerd car license plate? Or are you still going with the just regular Florida
I think
plate?
I'll just leave it regular. Yep.
All right. Hi, Matt and Chris. How's Coach Kimmy's Green Star versus McGuire's D101? Yeah,
I haven't used it yet. I put it in a bottle the other day, but then I never actually used it. I think it's more aggressive than 101.
Do you have any experience? Have you used the Milwaukee Pack Out, any of that stuff yet? And would you wall mount them? You got any interest in doing that stuff?
No, I definitely wouldn't wall mount it. But I do have a couple of Pack Outs that I've had for years, but it's on the list. I just submitted the next accessory order, and so I'm working on the next that package, and then we'll get into Pack Outs probably after I get through hand tools.
All right, we have some more positive comments on the thumbnail again this week. Did you see what's the thumbnail this week? You and Chloe.
Yep.
And then the most popular question there on the there was somebody who wanted to know if the cat was getting deconned, and then also if this was the cat that you once threatened to kick in the face or something like that.
No, that was the orange one.
Orangey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Said, don't you do it, and I will drop kick your face.
So Chloe's a good cat.
Yeah.
Good cat. Let's see here. Is the second generation NSX still something you're thinking about?
Not on the immediate horizon, but maybe someday. I did say if the Civic made me $500,000, I'd get one. So buy lots of Civic stuff, and maybe I'll get an NSX.
And that's going to be February, middle of February to the end of March for that Civic giveaway, for those of you wondering. Matt, will you be selling the Tesla wheels when you take them off?
No, I always keep all my stock parts. Who knows how long I'm going to have a car, so, I always keep the stock stuff in case.
All right, let's see. I want to get to this because there's lots of CSL questions today for some reason. So first of all, here in the chat, Henry wants to know, I was wondering if you can put a wax over CSL and EXO.
I don't think it will really bond and it'll wash off pretty quickly, so you don't want to do that, and you're kind of gumming up the properties of it. I understand the concept is that you would want it to, add a little depth. But I think you'll be fine with just putting EXO on there, and that it's going to bond, it's going to work well. But I haven't tried it, but I suspect it's not going to play very well together.
All right, a couple other CSL questions here from Facebook. From Dustin, when applying CSL EXO, can or should either one be used on the glass?
Yeah, you can. Not on the windshield because it will affect clarity, and also your wiper blades won't work very well. But yeah, you can put it. I'm going to put it all on the whole roof glass of the Model 3. So I'll show you how to do that.
All right, and then Matt, right after that, asked Matt Kimmy, "Do you coat the headlights and taillights with CSL?"
I do, yeah.
And then JT finally here, is there anything you can't put CSL/EXO on?
Just the windshield, but everything else it's fine. Fair game.
All right, lots of CSL questions there.
I don't think it works particularly well on like bare aluminum. So like bare metal, I don't think it works. But everything else seems to work fine.
All right, let's see here. We got a super chat we'll get to in just a second. I saw a question here from our friend up in Canada, Gully's Garage. Good afternoon from sunny Saskatchewan. I see you finally discovered how well the surface cleaner works for cleaning SwissTrax. So you enjoy the way that worked?
Yeah. Nice. I do think it works a lot better if you have a gas, if you have a more powerful, machine. But yeah, it does the job. It's a nice little addition. I think it's a little soft if you're doing like a really highly lifted car, but it does the job, and it's an amazing piece of engineering. It's a really high quality piece of equipment that will last a long, long time.
All right, let's see here. We got a question from John in the chat. I think you like this question here. Matt, how did the OG shirts compare to the Rogue fitness shirts? I like the fit and feel and the Rogue shirts, and that's all I wear. I noticed you also wear a lot of Rogue shirts.
Yeah, I mean, they're modeled after Rogue, and so in the beginning, all the Rogue shirts were American Apparel 50/50, and that's what my shirts were. And then when American Apparel went out of business and then was bought by Gildan, we still, at times have to do an American Apparel 50/50. I feel like it's not the same. But the thing that most of Rogue stuff is printed on is Los Angeles Apparel, and so that's what most of my stuff is printed on. And the problem with Los Angeles Apparel is getting the inventory of it. That oftentimes don't have the colors stuff we need, so we're going to be a bit more proactive. So it's going to be virtually the same. So best shirts there are.
All right, we have a super chat here from Bob Sacamano. He wants to know, and this is $36.36.
Okay.
He wants to know, what's your favorite song on 36 Chambers? Word is bond, sun, cream is mine.
I don't know. I'm not a favorite song kind of guy. I'm much more of
the whole thing?
Yeah, much more of an album, complete set kind of guy, and that's always been my thing.
All right, let's see. SC1 super chat here for $5. Hey guys, can we get the OG spec approved Applebee's type restaurant rankings? YouTube won't let me type what Matt usually calls them. I guess they were censoring him there.
So what's he? Well, I don't understand.
Applebee's, Chili's.
Oh my gosh.
Ruby Tuesday, Texas Roadhouse. All those are kind of the same. I call them microwave restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe we can work on an official list.
So let's see. I guess Chili's would be the best,
or maybe
of those. Then TGI Fridays, maybe. Then, Applebee's is the last for sure. But if I have any chance, I will never go to any of those restaurants ever again from now until the history of the rest of my life. God willing, I will not be going to any of those restaurants ever, as long as I shall live, till death does me part.
So, There you go. They're all tied for last. SC1, that's the answer.
There you go. That's a good Matty answer right there. All tied for last.
Let's see.
Like, do you like those places?
No, I don't like those places.
It's just gross. It's terrible. And always it's so bad. Like, I want to like it, and you get the menu out, and you're like, sweet, I'm going to get these fajitas, and you get them. They're freaking terrible. It's just terrible. Mexican restaurants do that to me, too. Like, you go to, like, a authentic, and I just hate the big pile of shredded lettuce with some little tomato bits on it. It takes up, like, a quarter of the plate. And then a big old slop pile of refried gross beans that I'm not doing anything with.
I love those.
Tiny little bit of guac, and, like, a tiny little bit of sour cream, and they bring this whole plate. It's a whole giant plate. They bring it to sit it there, and then they bring you the fajitas all steaming on the plate, and then which they hopefully taste a little better than Chili's, and then they bring you like 2 tortilla things. I need 45 of those, and then just take this plate of slop out of here and bring me a whole plate of guacamole. Leave this and like a little dabble of cheese.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want a half a plate of cheese and a half a plate of guacamole. That's all I need.
I'm sure they'll do that if you ask.
And I want 45 tortillas. Warmed, soft. Not that crunchy crap. That's what I want. That's a good idea. I'm going to do that from now on. Say, what is it going to cost me to do it this way? Half a plate of cheese, half a plate of guacamole.
They might even make that on their menu.
Hold the other puke. I
They'll
don't
just
want
add
any
it.
of that crap. Yeah, that's
puke.
what everybody wants.
Just call it the Matty.
What would you want filler? Waste, like, ruin the taste of your meat with some stink dirt lettuce. Yeah. Do lettuce elsewhere. That's what we say here.
All right, let's see. Jack has a question here. Matt, I just bought a 2006 Interlagos Blue E46 M3.
Ooh, I like that.
Using your E92 as an inspiration, what modifications would you pursue? Brembo BBK, and even Venturi intake, hardwire radar with blend mount, etc.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the wheels you're planning, I'd spend the extra few $1,000 and do F80, carbon ceramics. I think would be awesome. But they won't fit under the ZCP wheels, so you'd have to do something else. Some P101s or R101s or FIR, BBS FIRs or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, if I'm you, I'm trying to track down a set of BMW Performance seats. Oh, what am I saying? He's saying E46. I'm thinking E92.
E46.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't know what to do. Yeah, Brembo GT kit for sure, and I think yellow would be my choice, yellow or silver or black or something like that. Lower the car. I'm not sure if active, like, who makes the best exhaust for that. I'm gonna find out someday in the not too distant future. But yeah, I don't know the E46 platform as well. I never had one, and I never chased that car as much to see what's best for it. What are we putting on Mike's car? We're putting a what's that, Carbonics intake plenum. So we'll be doing that here soon.
All right, ACW Valang says, good morning / evening. Got a customer with an Audi Q7. Cola or some fizzy drink spilled on the MMI control buttons. Any tips to clean them out? Tried some APC and airline, but have gotten sticky again.
Yeah. I think a steamer would probably help with something like that, but you got to be careful with liquids, getting in there and messing something up. I'd probably take apart the panel, take it out of the car, and try to, get the electrical connections disconnected from it, and then just take it in the sink and wash it soap and water. If you take that whole thing apart.
All right, let's see here. There's some good stuff in the chat here about food. Hey, Matt, what's a good coating for bare aluminum wheels?
Yeah, see, I don't know. The only coating I know of for that specific application is an Optimum product, and it's pro only. I think you can only get it if you're an Optimum certified detailer. But do a little research. I don't know if anybody else has anything, but the only one I know of that's a coating for metals like that would be Optimum stuff.
All right, let's see. James wants to know, hey guys, hope all is well. Color Lock products, are you currently using anything? And what were your impressions after the guys from Color Lock were on last time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to the dyeing and repair and all that stuff, that whole part of the product line, but strong cleaner, mild cleaner, their leather brush, the leather shield, the leather protection cream, and then I'm going to be testing out the vinyl products on the vegan leather. I like to prefer as douche leather or vinyl, which is actually what it is on the Model 3.
All right, let's see here. Oh, we got another super chat here from Spencer, somewhere up in the Dakotas. Hey, Matt, just ordered the OG jacket, seeing it's half off. Is there a replacement coming soon?
Yeah, we're working on a whole revamp of the entire apparel line, simplifying it and offering a bunch of different colors and stuff. And so we're going to add a bunch of stuff, but a lot of it will be like different colors of different versions of shirts. And like I said, we're going to try to do all Los Angeles apparel if we can help. And we've kind of come up with a system to vet and make sure all the shirts are as in good of condition as possible before we print on them. And we're going to have jackets and shorts and hats and all kinds of stuff. Take it one step at a time.
All right, follow-up question there with Spencer. Also, what's your take on the MTM undercarriage sprayer? Have you used that one?
Yeah, that one's pretty nimble, from turning and stuff, but it just, I didn't like that one very much. But it works and works well. It has 4 heads, which means, again, I think all of these surface cleaners are better with a gas-powered pressure washer, but they certainly all are. But yeah, the MTM one's okay too. It's like $200 or $300 instead of $600. But I wasn't in love with it. I don't even want an undercarriage cleaner, and so I got talked into it. And then when I saw it and used it, I was like, "Wow, this thing's pretty fantastic." So that's why I was really surprised how many people care about that thing. I'm always surprised when I don't care about something and other people do, but it makes sense. I'd be all about that if I lived where it snowed. For sure.
All right, Nick wants to know, did you have a video or plan to release a video on the Soul Race exhaust with competition headers? I know you said it was ridiculous, but would love to have seen the video with your production quality.
Yeah, we couldn't capture the audio. It was just blowing out the mic. It sounded pretty much the same as it did with the rear valve section, and it just was, it was like 35% louder. So it was the same tone and everything, just louder. Is why I didn't
much louder.
Yeah, and I couldn't go anywhere in it. It was so freaking loud.
All right, let's see. John wants to know. He says, I'm getting PDR done next week at a shop I've never been to before. Mm-hmm. Do I palm a hundo at the start to let him know what's up, or wait until after the job is done?
Oh, no. You grease the palm beforehand. That way they know you mean business, and then they'll take extra care.
All right, Sam has a good point here in the chat regarding guacamole. He's surprised that Matt doesn't bring the OG funnel to precisely measure 150 milliliters of guac on each tortilla.
Jamming it in there.
That would take a long time.
If I have half a plate full of it, I won't have to ration it. You just go for it. You slather on what's necessary.
Oh, man. Good stuff. We have a suggestion here from our earlier question. Christopher Financial Group says for the E46 M3, you can't beat a CSL intake. Whatever that is. Any update on the M18 or M12 DA polishers?
I don't know. We talked about it a little bit. I mean, they're in development, so they don't even exist yet. I don't know if they're going to be any good or not. But I've talked with some of the representatives there about maybe being a part of helping them develop it and telling them what we would look for. I think I could be of value to them to come out with something that we would want. That would be pretty sick. To be able to use a polisher inside of the same ecosystem. If we could get more torque, more output than the Flex has, and we're onto something.
All right, let's see. Turtlehead wants to know, Matt, have you heard or thought about trying the Johns 360 ceramic coating? It's becoming popular on aircraft. Having seen many people using it on cars, it can be used on bare aluminum.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Never heard of it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guy's probably just buying it from somewhere, that's similar to what already exists.
All right, Alex says, hi, Chris and Matt. Just wanted to say thanks for all the Inside the Hex content lately. Definitely getting our money's worth lately. Keep up the good work. Alex from the UK. So yeah, lots of good videos going up in the past week or so. That's how it works. You'll go a couple weeks maybe without one, and then 3 in 3 days or something. Just kind of do it as we're ready. Fatty Butt 96, great name there, says he just ordered a bunch of color lock stuff for our planes at work. They work really well on untreated leather.
Yeah, certainly. The untreated stuff on non-clear coated like real leather, that requires a bit of a skill to keep clean.
All right, David J. War Eagle, our buddy in Alabama, says, how's the garage giveaway going? And then someone else asked about that, so I got here's our latest update. This is through yesterday, so we're almost to break even. Not quite there yet.
$12,000 short.
Yep.
Assuming that we spend what we spent last time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a little ways to go, but we're on track to be done and running on time as planned.
Sweet. I want to make like $200,000. How do I make that happen? We got to sell a lot more stuff. Yeah. People got to buy more stuff.
The last few days, is if any of the previous giveaways are an indicator, lots of people buy like T-shirts and some of the little stuff. But
yeah. So you're at how many people? 1,300 or something like that?
No, that's 1,388 items sold.
Okay.
So that means if you bought 3 things, there's 1,388 of those items. And a total of that many entries. So in other words, but
the entries are kind of funky. It's 28,000 entries. But if you buy something that gives you 400 entries, and you do the odds, so the odds are extremely high for somebody to win. So you figure we have say 900 people in there. 900 people have bought stuff. So let's say by the end we have 1,500 people. You're going to have a better than 1 in 1,500 chance, depending on how much stuff you bought.
Yeah, that custom polisher gives you 190 entries on its own.
Yeah, so now your odds are extremely high,
and you get a cool polisher. It's a good deal. Let's see. This is from Carlos in the chat. What is the preferred way to clean and protect the fake leather on the Model 3? Have you gotten into that yet?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to do the 2-step, vinyl cleaning and then vinyl protection cream, or I forget what they call it, but the color lock system. I'm going to be shooting a video here next week on that.
All right, let's see. Sam has a dumb press-all question. That's good. We get lots of those. I need a replacement tip for my industrial sprayer, which is a great tip.
Yep.
But the only replacement tips I see available in the store are black/blue for household and garden. Do those tips fit the industrial? It's a good question. It's not a dumb question, Sam. They'll fit, but will
they definitely fit. It's the same tip.
But do they have the same? I guess they don't.
I thought there was only 2, blue and... Because I think all of the heads are grayish. So the one on there, it's like I think that's the only one. But it's the same. They're all the same orifice size. I didn't think there was a gray tip. I thought they were all kind of light black, dark gray. I think.
Well, look at that, Sam. While we're doing that, let's see. 1320 LS1 says, can you sell the basic kit that comes with the K1700 separate or only advanced kit? No, we can sell pretty much anything.
Yeah. If you need something custom, you can. One thing you can do is just look at the kit, look at the picture, and then just go buy everything a la carte right below it. So everything that comes with each kit is in. Yeah, see, there's only 2 colors.
Yeah, this is the one for the press-on industrial sprayer. No, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. It's like a light black. So that fits all of them. Both the industrial and the whatever.
All right, let's see. Chris wants to know, does Matt see the live comments? Do you see the live comments? He does, because every once in a while he'll say, what is that
peek over there? Yeah. But no, I try not to, because Chris holds back the ones where he doesn't want me steering me down the wrong path.
People are getting
talking about politics or viruses and stuff like that. They could cancel me.
Yeah, we don't want that. Any update on the Comet pressure washer availability? Yes, we do have some now. They came in, and we have packing that is correct this time. So we just sent out a couple today, actually. So yeah, they're back in the store. Any update on the microfiber complete kit? We do have. I think we're missing 1 towel, which is why you can't buy that right now, but they're coming. So in the next week or so, we should have the complete kit ready to go.
Yeah, I saw the invoice come through that last week sometime, so it should be good.
Let's see here. Let me get to this super chat from our friend Dallas O up in Canada. Been a while, fellas. Finally caught a live one. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Looking forward to Chris in a puffy parka in negative 20 Celsius. Hashtag OG Canada.
Yeah.
Any update on the for our Canadian buddies up there?
Nothing.
Oh.
I've been chasing my tail here lately.
Well, and Bryce at the Brad Bacon had a good suggestion about. Well, no, I won't discuss it here because I don't want to give that idea out, but we'll talk about that later. So no, I'm never coming to Canada. That's the answer to that. Another super chat. It's Mario, dude. That's a great name. Hey, Matt, for the giveaway, if the winner didn't have a garage, would you be interested in doing an OG mobile detailing setup? Truck, van, trailer, etc. That's interesting. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, you can get a pretty sweet deal for $85 grand.
Spend.
Yeah.
Or you can take the money and buy whatever you want with it. Buy lots of zebra cakes.
Yeah, I wonder how we could do that.
And we'll find out once we choose the winner what their deal is. Because there was another question from Fishsticks6791 on Instagram. What would you do if someone won the garage but only had a single car garage with barely any room? Would you decline and only offer money, or would you continue knowing that you couldn't do as much as you would want to with lift, cabinets, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, we could make a one car look pretty sick. It would save me some money. So we'd jam it packed with all kinds of cool stuff somehow. I'm sure we could figure something out in a one car.
All right.
We might cut the concrete there and do a recessed lift.
Ronnie, well, this question is too long to answer now, but we do have lots of videos that answer this question. Big question for Matt. How did you get your business going, and what made you decide to start a business like the one you have? There's been some Inside the Hex content.
Yeah, that's a 2-hour deal. But I didn't sit down and business plan it out. It's just, one step led to another, which led to another, which led to another, and so it's a very long story. But I've told that there's quite a few videos where I talk about how that has happened on the channel or Inside the Hex.
All right, let's see. Daniel wants to know, any idea when Hyde's Rust Stopper will be back in stock? No. Our buddy Ryan cannot get the bottles that he needs. He's working on sourcing some other bottles because bottles and sprayers are still kind of...
We have gallons, don't we?
We may have a few gallons left. I'd have to look and see. Let's see. Raymond wants to know, Matt, have you used the new Mosmatic swivel on your hose reel yet? So that fancy pants.
I haven't, but it is freaking beautiful. So I'll probably put it on there when I pull the 1322 off to put the new 1322 on with the new. The 1322 is the same. It just has a different thingy, different housing for the electronic stuff, and so for the switch and the capacitor and all that stuff. So I'll probably put one on and see how it looks. But I have them sitting there. They look fantastic.
All right, let's see. We get to a question here from Instagram from Trust Me It's Real. Something not car related, but kinda in your area of expertise. Based on your former area of expertise, what's your take on Tesla stock, among other things here? So I know you said you don't have any individual stocks, but has owning a Tesla changed your mind, or seeing what's going on there changed your mind?
No, I mean, I don't really think much about that kind of stuff. It's one of those things that if you would ask me, 6 years ago, I'd say it's freaking stupid. But then, people have made some money off of it. I talk about this in the video I just posted Inside the Hex, talking about, the difference between or the similarity of a goal and a scheme. How if we go back and watch me teach Adam LZ how to wash his 330, his 335, and he asks about Bitcoin, and I said, look, it's not that I don't believe in the viability of that sort of thing. It's that it's a scheme. It's not like a plan. So you get into this scheme where you're playing a game that you know nothing about and nobody knows anything about, that you can't really win. And so it's no different than buying lottery tickets and being a little better at buying lottery tickets than and trying to play the odds. But I don't know. It's just not my thing. And so, buying something like Tesla stock, who knows? I mean, they baked into the cake the value of it, what they may do in the future, and what it may become as a company. And so, that's usually not a good prospect in the near term. But if you haven't bought it already, then I'm not sure why you would buy it now. So you've kind of missed that party. So I don't ever try to catch those things. It's just not my thing. I'm not looking to catch it because I think you end up in the same spot. You have a few winners and mostly losers in life. And so why not just stick to the basics and buy a bunch of crap inside of an ETF or a mutual fund, or hire somebody to manage your money and leave it at that. So I have zero interest in playing the scheme game and scheming. It's just too much wasted energy. I get that I waste a lot of energy on home theater stuff and things like that, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're playing with your money, and almost everyone I've met and seen, I don't know, probably 10,000 portfolios, of people over the 15 years that I did it, and I had met maybe 2 people of those 10,000 that made like a fortune, like enough money for them off of something like buying a stock like that. And it was usually because they were part of the company in some form or fashion. It's such a rare instance where, you get wealthy off of, investing in Bitcoin. It just very rarely happens. And if it does happen, the odds are that you're going to lose all of that if it does, lose viability. And you can tell when something is super popular and become parabolic and become very unlikely to succeed when, there's a comment in my feed about Bitcoin and there's like 55 replies and everybody's interested in it and everybody's piling on. It's just not something that I get involved in.
All right, I have a question here from Keith on Facebook. Matt, watched your surface cleaner video and I had a question. What's the best way to get the water out from under the SwissTrax after you wash it if you don't have a drain in the floor? Will it naturally drain with the slope of the garage, or do you need to try and blow it out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably grab my blower and blow toward, but I mean, remember this, the rib tracks is see-through, so the water is eventually going to evaporate, especially in the winter when it's dry in most areas. You probably wouldn't last very long. But yeah, I would start from the back and work my way forward, so I'm pushing the water toward the outside, and then remember the SwissTrax is channeled, so the water will snake its way out of there. But yeah, I think it's using a lot less water because it's a pressure washer, so you're only getting 2 gallons a minute out of it. So if you are efficient, shouldn't be too much water in there. So in the garage here, I just left it there and let it dry.
All right, got a question from Kevin in the chat. Hey guys, it's been a few years since Rupes announced the LHR 15 Mark III. Should I hold out buying one of those, hoping they will release a Mark IV soon?
Yeah, never hold out for that kind of stuff. You just buy when you're ready to buy, and sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I would just buy it when you're ready to buy it, and not, unless there's an announcement and they already announced that, hey, the new one's coming in 2 weeks, then you could be waiting for forever.
And buy it, then you can sell it in the OG marketplace afterwards. Somebody will.
Yeah, if you had to, but I doubt any changes will be incremental. I don't think anybody with a Mark II is like panicking that they don't have a Mark III. It's subtle differences.
I have a good question here from Steven on Facebook. I want to buy a good all-around kitchen knife. Are Sam the Cooking Guy's knives up to OG standards? Do you have one of those? I
haven't. I was going to buy one to support them, but probably fine. I mean, I think it's only like $50 or $60. Like a good knife is $300, $400, $500. But then you got to learn how to sharpen it. So I bought one of those Yaxel, Yaxell super gals that was like $350 or something like that, or $400. But I don't know how to sharpen it, so I need to figure that out.
All right, let's see. Spencer wants to know on Facebook, how come you choose eraser over panel wipe before applying CSL? As G-Technic does recommend using panel wipe to remove any oils from the polishing stages that maybe eraser wouldn't be strong enough to take off.
Panel wipe is just so darn aggressive. You don't want to spray it directly on the paint. It's grabbier. It smells real bad. It's just the user experience of eraser is better. And so I'm only grabbing panel wipe when I know I want something more aggressive. Like I just use it on the glass because I really wanted to strip the glass as much as possible. But I use panel wipe sparingly. But I do like having both in the cabinet, and that's why we put them both in the store.
All right, our Canadian friend Paul here says, can you ask Pressall to make the industrial bottles in translucent white and blue? I am sure a lot of people would like it.
Oh, I want them. Yeah, we'll get there.
Eventually, Paul.
Yeah, I keep getting more and more convicted, seeing the IK bottles and having those for a little while. I just got the Marilex bottles and seeing those. My friend Samit sent me all the Marilex stuff. And their sprayers are pretty nice. I haven't really played with them much, but the hand, so I'm talking pump sprayer versus hand sprayer. The hand spray bottles, Pressalls, are the best on the planet, and so we're trying to get those to function as well as possible. And then I'd love to have those in translucent. Be awesome.
I got a question here from Christopher Financial Group that pairs nicely with a question from Instagram. What do you think of California Air Tools air compressor, specifically the ultra quiet model 8010 SPC? You ever use theirs?
I thought that I would be all over the California Air Tools stuff, and I know many people listening to this have them. Every one, I've probably used 10 of them in my life, and every single one of them, 10 of 10, were broken in some form or fashion. And then when I learned about, because all of them are oilless piston compressors, so the oilless makes them quieter. They don't have enough output to do a whole heck of a lot, even like the biggest ones. You have to just put them in series. They have to put tons of motors on them to get them to function well. And so the FIAC version, or the Werther version that we have, is like a ironclad, bulletproof, super high-end version of that kind of compressor. And so after seeing the two, and the price difference between the two, like that little one we have in my garage at my house at the wash bay, the thing's like $1,500 or something like that. The California Air Tools is super intriguing. It'll do the job, but I think that I couldn't go there. I didn't know if they'd let me sell them or not, but I couldn't go there because I just didn't feel right. Like I felt like it was going to be a disaster. Like they're all going to break, because every one I've ever used has not worked right. So, and that could have been just 10 out of 10 bad luck of people not caring for them properly, but those kind of compressors really shouldn't need a lot of maintenance. Shouldn't be much to it.
Well, then Adam on Instagram asks, what's a good option for a budget-friendly air compressor?
I don't think there is one. Jenny is about as budget-friendly as I'd get, $1,800 or something like that. I just don't like that's why I haven't brought in something cheap. I know a lot of people buy those Roll Air, the green ones. It just seems kind of cheap to me, but I'd like to find something someday that's a little more reasonable.
All right, let's see. Jason in the chat says, easiest way to sharpen knives. Mino Sharp 3-stage sharpener. Looks gimmicky, but definitely not. Use it on all my global knives. And then he says the source is his wife is a pastry chef.
I guess it would be better to do that than it would be for me to do it wrong on a stone, because you have to really develop feel.
So it kind of looks like a stapler. It's a knife sharpener.
Yeah, I'm going to get one of those then.
All right, thanks, Jason. Our friend Shane up in Kentucky says, where does honey baked ham rank on the restaurant list? That's where I had lunch today.
It's pretty high up there.
I like honey baked ham. I was pleasantly surprised.
It's one of my favorite sandwiches. I'll even have lettuce on one of those.
No.
Yeah.
Did they do like the big leafy lettuce?
Yeah, like the big green leaf.
It's still no good, but...
Yeah, I'll even occasionally, most of the time I'll rip it off, but I may even leave the lettuce and tomato on there. Yeah, because that ham is pretty rich, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's high up there. Their potato salad is world class.
See, they have a deal they have a deal every day, but on Fridays, it's their ham, cheese, bacon, mayonnaise and mustard, Tavern Club sandwich, chips, drink, cookie for $7.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. Ted and Andrew turned me on to that, so.
Yeah. That's your Friday ritual.
Yep, that's my.
And then you're all thirsty.
Yeah.
Running on a podcast, trying to guzzle your.
Have to keep the water going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff on Friday. Let's see here. We go to this guy whose name is Al McKenzie on Instagram. Has a BMW M car.
Mm-hmm.
What protection would you go with? Street use only, but lots of tail of dragon type stuff. I'm thinking front PPF, side sills, and extended arch piece to replace OEM PPF. Then ceramic over everything.
I think you got to do the whole roof too. Yeah, so I'd add the roof to that.
All right, there
roof,
you go.
Mirrors, the entire A-pillar. That gets smacked.
All right, JTO, who looks a lot like our friend Dallas from Canada on Instagram, says, when will there be some more affiliate content available? Banners, buttons, videos, etc. I don't know. Email Bryce, I'll tell you.
No. Yeah, I don't know anything about any of that.
Here's a question you may enjoy from Real Life Riley on Instagram. With all the different driving videos you've done, what is your preferred mounting locations for GoPro cameras, and which mounts do you like?
I don't know why all the YouTube guys put a camera right there in their face, and that's it. That's all you can see. The Doug DeMuro style. I like the camera right smack in the center of the hood, right next to the windshield wipers. That's one. And then the other one as far away as I can get from the passenger well. So I want to try to capture the shifting, so I want to grab the shifter, and those pretty much cover it. Those are the two positions I think you need, and you cover what you need, because you really, I guess you could show the speedometer, it'd be kind of cool, but the one overhead in the Tesla was pretty cool. Looking down was a good view, I thought.
All right, let's see here. Vigor Auto Detailing wants to know, hey, Matt, are you coming to the Serum Summit?
I think it's in Tampa, so yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm sure I'll plan on being there.
All right, if so, can I take you up on your offer to stop by and eat zebra cakes with the fam?
Maybe. Probably not.
He's giving up zebra cakes for this week.
Yeah.
Too. All right, let's see. Oh, another suggestion here. Have a mobile service come and sharpen all your knives. Do you have enough knives to make that?
No, I only have 2.
You'd still probably do it anyway.
I need to get some more. I love those things. But Michelle literally almost cut her finger off just washing it. She's not allowed to look at those knives. My mom and Michelle always cut themselves, so they're not allowed to use good quality knives.
All right, Henry on Facebook says, Matt, would you ever consider letting other retailers sell OG branded products like Decon soap and tire dressing?
Yeah, what I'd envision is selling like packages. So putting it like, because I have a bunch of buddies that have retail locations of different similar car related things that would want to have like an Obsessed Garage car washing package. And people have been bugging me about it for quite some time. I've been talking to Jason. I need to call Krensla again. They have called me back for some reason. About allowing Chicago Auto Pros to sell the K1322. And so I'll be working on that at some point.
All right, let's see. Xantonin chimed in here about the roof PPF. As someone that had an acorn or rock or something fly out from under another car and dent my roof at Tail of Dragon, it may not be a bad idea to PPF the roof as well.
Yeah, and don't do a strip. Either do the whole thing or don't do it. But yeah, the roof is I think a good spot. That's where I always tend to get the most rock chips on my cars, is right on that roof, right in the front of it.
All right, let's see. Do you have any past experience with bead maker on G-Technic G1? I recall seeing a video of you polishing off G1 to go with Wolf's.
Yeah, that's why, because it doesn't work. It's smear freaking crazy. Those two just don't play well together at all. Yeah, I literally couldn't get the windows clean. It'd just be buffing them with glass cleaner over and over and over again. So that's why I took it off.
All right, Mick wants to know, Matt, are you interested in the new 992 GT3?
Yeah.
Having already driven this beast in the beginning of last year whilst working in Wysock, I really feel like this platform is so much more capable, suspension-wise.
Yeah, I'd like to probably get a 992 Touring would be what I'm really interested in doing. Man, I wish they would add Burmester to the option list. That would be amazing.
All right, let's see. Lewis chimes in here. Not our Lewis, another Lewis. Your content has helped ease my OCD. Thank you abundantly. Oh,
sweet.
That's cool. Thank you. What are your thoughts on Press-All and IK sprayers? They both seem good, but need advice on when to use which one.
Oh, there's no contest there. I mean, the reason why I brought IK in was to hopefully be a part of the development of them. But I don't think there's any instance outside of they tend to accept labels a little bit better because they're not some weird shape. But outside of that, I mean, everything about the Pressols is superior. That Canyon sprayer they come with does atomize really, really well. But when do you want that kind of mist? I want it to, the Pressols atomize, fine for me.
All right, let's see. DJ Apache says, "Hello, everyone. Been great being able to meet you guys and pick up your pressure washer and materials. Come on by anytime, DJ Apache." We don't get nearly as many visitors anymore because of the way things are, but it's always good to have them here. Is mounting a radar detector on the A pillar a good idea?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it has to have, especially the ones with the rear detection, have to have view out the back. So yeah, no, I'd always put it center as much as you can.
All right. Our buddy Spencer sent a second super chat here, but it's a conditional thing here.
Okay.
He says, "Hey, OG, second super chat, but make sure this gets to Kyle to buy a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. He deserves it for the amazing customer service. Thanks." All right, we'll add that to his next paycheck.
Yeah.
It'll get taxed, and then he gets 3 cents. That's how that works. Let's see. Go back to this real quick. Aaron on Instagram says, "Street Speed 717 came up to Florida this past summer, and I saw you comment on his Instagram post about detailing. I would love to see you two complete opposites interact. When do you think your new series of wash and drive will begin, and do you think you'll do any famous YouTubers?"
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I've shelved it for now. Why did we shelf it? Because I'm moving, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
The wash bay.
Yeah,
situation.
I don't want to start it and have to quit. So we're going to shelf it for now until I have my situation organized and structured. But we will be doing a highly produced, well-done series at some point in the near future.
All right, Ian on Facebook saw the picture of Chloe the cat, and he said, "How do you keep the cat from walking all over your cars?"
I don't know. It just doesn't do it. Sometimes I'll see some footprints on there, but cat. I've never noticed any scratching or anything from her. So, but rarely do I ever have an issue with that.
All right, let's see. Maurizio says, "Hey, hope you guys are doing great. I would like to know Matt's opinion on tuning companies specified on one car manufacturer, such as Brabus, ABT, Alpina, Singer. Have you ever had any experiences with any of them?"
None of them, yeah. I've never done anything like that. He's talking about, companies that will that have a relationship generally with, like Roof does with Porsche. They have some sort of history. And they'll modify an OE car and make it OE-like, but it's, heavily modified. Yeah, I've never done anything like that or had a car from any of those companies. I don't know if that really interests me or not.
All right, Paul wants to know what the cat's name is. Chloe, right?
Yeah.
Chloe the cat. Do you ever use, this is from Henry, the IK Foam Pro 2?
Definitely not. No.
He did a video. Was that the first one, or
I don't know which one that is, but maybe it's a new version. But I don't like those pump sprayer thingies. All right, they use so much more product, and they're just a pain in the butt.
All right, let's see. Hey Matt, I believe you're moving to Dundon Products after Seoul. Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Dundon, what I'm gonna do is because Dundon won't have a rear section for a while, so I'm gonna do Dundon headers with the Seoul rear section. So I should have that here in the next probably 3 weeks, something like that.
All right, and then do you have any plans or opinions on the JCR exhaust suite?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, they just did some real shady marketing stuff in the beginning, kind of turned me off. And they just don't have the chops that Dundon has with testing and tuning and all of that stuff. So, they're putting on a good show for people, but I've lumped them in with the other internet exhaust people, with the IPEs and the Army Trixes of the world. Even though they're probably a little better off than that. From what I understand, I don't know the story at all, but there's a guy who is sort of trying to develop it, and then he's using third-party manufacturer to do the welds and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks nice. But I mean, all of the setups I see look like drone machines. But it just doesn't interest me. I mean, I just think I would much rather choose a Dundon product, which is they're an originator. They're ones that kind of turn everybody on to help understanding how to make a header that makes power. Now everybody just kind of copies it.
All right, Mike wants to know, our good Canadian friend here. Hey, Chris and Matt, when is the next wash and chat?
I might do one this weekend. I need to wash the GT3 RS. It needs to get cleaned. And I need to put a seat. Now that I have so many cars, I mean, I got to get the C-Tech, the trickle chargers on the Porsches because my battery is probably dead on my RS right now. But I need to get them trickle charging. And we're moving forward. The contractor just called me. We finally got the permits and stuff, so we're moving quickly through to get our warehouse up and running, and so I'm going to have the ability to park cars here, which is going to be nice.
All right, let's see here. Show on Instagram says, will you be adding OG tire dressing packaged in the press-out bottles to the garage giveaway or maybe the Civic giveaway? I believe this was a possibility mentioned in a previous podcast.
Yeah, I think we're nowheresville on the labels, so
yeah. Hopefully for the Civic giveaway, it won't make it for the garage giveaway.
Yeah.
That's we're working with a label company trying to get all that ironed out. Hey, Chris, what does Matt think about Jono's Best and Adam's new Audi RS6 Avant?
Yeah, I love those things. I don't think I'll get one. It's just so much money for that car. But yeah, they're cool, man. Man, they look cool. Big old wheels, and you lower them with software, on the air suspension, and they don't sound very good at all, though.
All right, let's see. Guy B32 says, getting my seat upholstered in leather for my hot rod project. It's a roadster and will be exposed to the sun. Mm-hmm. What's the best way to condition and protect the investment?
Yeah, look into it's the same for all, pretty much all leathers. I mean, you would do the color lock system, depending on if it's aniline or nubuck or, what type of leather it is. If it's a traditional coated leather, then you would do you would just put shield on it periodically and clean it with mild cleaner and a brush periodically. That's all you really need to do. The shield will really take care of it and keep it protected. You don't want to clog it up with some coating. You want to use, I think, leather products that are designed for that application.
All right, TC24 says, Matt, you got any plans for a bigger family vehicle now that the M5 is gone? Cayenne Turbo, Durango, Q7, Avant?
Nope. The Raptor's going to keep doing that. I'll probably get another Raptor when this Raptor craps out. And then, the Model 3 actually is pretty functional for that. Works pretty well.
All right, Cleanworks Detailing says, are you a fan of vintage cars like a 993, Testarossa, late 80s exotics, etc.?
No, not at all. I have zero interest. I do have an interest in maybe building modernizing an air-cooled car someday, but after seeing Gunther Works and Singer and these guys that do it, it'd be like, you're never going to be able to do anything like that, so it's almost kind of ruins it for me. But I would like to restore and modify an air-cooled Porsche at some point. It'd be like an 80 SC or something like that.
All right, Matt, when is the GT3 versus Tesla drag race taking place?
Yeah, probably never. I do need to make a GT3 versus GT4 video coming up here soon, so I do want to make that soon.
All right. I'll add that to the list. Hey, guys, I have a ceramic-coated Lexus RCF that I keep in the garage. Mm-hmm. Any suggestions on an indoor car cover or just leave it uncovered?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's clean, keep the dust off of it. Get a Cover King satin stretch. And then you can get whatever color you want. But yeah, that's what I have. I have one for the M3. And then they don't do as good of a job on the Porsche stuff, so I get the OEM Porsche, same type, but an indoor only. It's a really soft satin on one end and like a, really soft fabric underneath, and only put it on when it's clean.
All right, let's see. Hey, Matt, would you ever consider doing an Integra Type R as a giveaway, or did you have enough with the Civic?
I probably have had enough with the Civic, but we'll see. If the Civic makes me $1 million, maybe I'll do a Type R right away. So we'll see how it does, how well it does, and that'll make a determination on whether or not we go further or not.
All right, let's see. Rickards says, just watched a German guy reviewing a Koshimi product. Turns out they call it Koshimi. Not that hard after all. Now it doesn't matter anyway because they changed their logo to KCX. That's easier to say. KCX.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Oh, Van is checking in from South Africa. Thanks for the awesome content on your YouTube channel, Matt. It's some next level stuff. Hope to have my own dialed-in garage one day. So, very cool. Do you have any plans to bring in P&S Iron Buster? Have you any experience with that?
Probably. I don't want to say probably not. I don't know. I mean, supposedly it's a better experience, so I got to get a hold of some and try it out. And thanks for reminding me. I'll get some of that and test it out.
All right, let's see. Joe says he likes the new quick video. I saw this. This was actually a couple folks said this. Quick video format that you did with the Tesla Decon, but concerned it may be too quick. Perhaps incorporate more live action dialogue with reduced voiceover. Keep up the good work.
Well, we'll have to do that. I think you'll like the polishing video. We're just trying some new stuff. I mean, I've done that same thing 50 times, and so we're kind of testing out some new formats. And so we had to jump around a little bit on the way we did it, but I think you'll like the polishing video we're making right now. So more instructional type rather than hanging out in my garage with me. Just trying something different, and then the next time I'll do a hanging out in the garage with me. And so we'll keep trying some new stuff just to keep it interesting, hopefully.
All right, SJ has a question here in the chat. What extra content does Hex Light have? Considering it because I enjoy your perspectives on things, especially during the wash and chats.
It's a lot more of my life, vlogging, just walking around with the little handheld camera, sharing what's going on. And it's more, discussion on, business and stuff like that. So the Hex Cast and then Hex Vlog are, just things where I'm, digging into more personal topics. Like the last video I made, I just sat in front of the camera and talked about whatever. I literally had no script, no idea what I was going to talk about. Just sat down and talked about 41 years on this earth, and what I've learned to this point.
56 minutes worth.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I had no idea how long it was.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, but there's a lot of, you've also done a couple behind the scenes on some of the stuff we do here in the office, some of the giveaway talk about how that works.
Yep.
Black Friday kind of behind the scenes. The marketing video with Brad that a lot of people really enjoyed.
Yeah, yep.
See, a lot of stuff I think is worth it. Let's see. Let me go to this question from Dominic on Facebook. What did the beginning stages of your car care process look like? Obviously, we all start somewhere. Also, when and where did you begin adopting the techniques that you currently use?
Beginning was, Rubbermaid bucket with Dawn, and then a, whatever sponge we had, like a regular sponge. And I don't think there was a lot of wheel cleaning going on, but then I think the wheel cleaning would be, I still think I washed top down, which just sort of made sense. And then I would dry with an absorber. I've always wanted like a high-end chamois or absorber. And then that morphed into, I discovered Griot's Garage, and I started buying all of his stuff. And so then we had the bucket with the grit guard in it, but it's single bucket, the single square bucket. And I was using a water blade to dry off the car, which is a scratch machine. Then it morphed into using a boar's hairbrush, which was a scratch machine, but I thought that would have been more. The Griot's was always talking about how that's the best way to wash. Well, that turned into a scratch device. And then what made a real transition for me, I think it was 2010 when, it might have been a little earlier than that, when I'd gotten water spots. And I was using the Griot's 4-step polishing system, and it did nothing. And then that's what I found Detailer's Domain and was reading about Menzerna polishes. And so I bought Menzerna SIP 1500, and it ripped the water spots right out in 2 seconds. And then from there, I'm like, holy crap, there's got to be another world out there. And that's when I really started digging into. So it's probably 2009, 2010. And then I think 2013, maybe 12 or 13 is when I went to Mike Phillips' detailing training, and it kind of confirmed a lot of the things that I was doing. That I never got into forums for detailing for some reason. I was never on any of the forums. I would just read some of the posts that Detailer's Domain made, and that was about it. But most of it, I just taught myself how to do it. So I watched some of the Griot's Garage videos on how to use a polisher, and then followed what products Phil was using and some of his write-ups and like the BMW forums, stuff like that. And then I went to Mike Phillips' school and confirmed that I'd been doing things right for 4, 5, 6 years. And then like 2015 and on is when I went to tons of different trainings to pick up little tidbits. I went to SwissTrax detailing school, really learned how to keep the pad flat, learned how to do edge work. Went to Optimum's training. Learned more about production detailing and how detailers make money and stuff like that. Been to what else have I done? Obviously been trained quite a bit by Jason Rose on different techniques, sanding and stuff like that. Been trained by Jason Kilmer on how to wet sand, and Andy Ward, seeing their process and how they compound and things like that. And so a lot of it is just little tips, little things that I picked up along the way that were more confirmations to how I was doing it. But I never really watched a lot of videos because they didn't really exist. I didn't go on the forums and read any sort of write-ups or anything like that. So for me, it was mostly the sort of pursuit of product, and then I just started sharing my process. And then as people would make comments, I'm sure that also influenced how I do things as well. But that's sort of how it's all come together.
All right, let's see here. Oh, our buddy Brian Deal out in California, late to the game. Sorry if you've addressed it already, but is OG in the black yet on the garage giveaway? No, we're getting close. Oh, and Matt answered him a little later. Different Matt. All right. Paul F. says, Matt, can you explain sound compression setting on my Denon? Is that how you say it? Denon? AVR? I set it to high end. Sound became more powerful.
So generally, both in video and audio, a lot of the DSP type, video or audio specifically, DSP type settings, you want to turn those off. Because it will add things to the master. It'll add things to the sound. So you want to go as direct as possible if you can. And so I never use any of the surround modes. Like Yamaha has like a zillion different surround modes. I always want direct digital, the direct stream. I want the direct audio. I don't want to add any bass or treble or anything like that, or any EQing. You could do that separately, like an actual proper EQ. But I generally don't. You're probably going to want to turn that off because it's going to enhance. So it's going to add some stuff. Whether they're trying to reduce noise or add warmth, it's just going to adjust the EQ is really what it's going to do, and do it automatically. So I like to avoid that. I do like the room correction stuff usually, because the room correction stuff will generally set up your levels and distances and things like that. So that to me is much more important, our levels and distances, to get everything time aligned than doing DSP type stuff. Same thing with video. You don't want noise reduction and things like that. You almost always turn off those reality creation engines and HDR engines and all that stuff. You generally want to turn that stuff off.
All right, we have a question here from Marcel on Facebook. Hey guys, I love the show. Still new to all of this. Looking for recommendations on a spray-on sealant / wax combo I can top with bead maker. I don't have access to a garage, so doing a ceramic coating isn't realistic. What are the pros and cons on spray-on wipe-off protection?
I mean, there's a zillion of them now. I don't have a lot of experience with them because I prefer to go through the whole process. Yeah, I mean, I think all the ones I kind of made fun of, where I'm hitting with a baseball bat, I mean, you could probably try some of that stuff out. You can go with the old tried and true stuff like Reload, Orgy on Cure, and then top that with Beadmaker periodically, or C2V3. Those would be like the three big names. But I do think that it is possible that some of the cheap stuff, some of the the newest stuff. I know a lot of people really love the the 303 graphene stuff. And so maybe try that out. But again, I don't have a lot of interest in those because I do have access to getting everything done. But I'm sure that some of the new stuff, even like, even the Meguiar's hybrid ceramic wax or some of these other turtle wax stuff probably is fine, if in that instance. But for me, I'm not interested in that. I'm gonna do the work and get the thing set up and figure out what I got to do. Talk to a buddy, make a new friend, palm a hundo somewhere to get access to be able to do it right.
All right, let's see. SJ says, how did you meet contractor Mike? Are you ever going to do an interview with him? Yeah, we keep talking about that. We need to.
He's just a OG member, and reached out and sent me some photos of them in the Do Average Elsewhere shirts and him and his family. And I don't know, we just got on the phone one time, and he came out to Moderator's Weekend, and we kind of hit it off from there.
More votes here. They want to hear about Mike the contractor on the podcast. I'd like to hear his story and how
he's not really a contractor. He's he basically runs all the maintenance detail for a refinery, or they make products for refineries. And so he's I don't know what his title is. I think it's maintenance supervisor. That sounds not as important as he probably actually is for the company, but he does pretty much everything for them. He's been there for I think 30 years or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, we'll work to get him. We still have some employee interviews we need to take care of as well for Inside the Hex. All right, I got a long question here from Marcine on Facebook. Matt, I don't own a Porsche yet, but you'd have me glued to the screen watching a recent oil change video. At one point, you discussed modifying your oil change intervals due to not meeting the monthly mileage recommendations of the manufacturer. Well, my GT350 gets stored away for 6 months due to our winter season up north, and it gets driven roughly 2 to 4K miles in the summer. I've been changing the oil before storage, but I'm not sure if having fresh oil sit for 6 months of winter and then get beat on is detrimental. Logic dictates that since it's not being heat cycled in storage, it should be okay. Given these circumstances, would you change the oil before or after storing the car, or should I adopt a twice-a-year approach?
I think I would probably err on the side of changing it after storage, so right before use, so I had good fresh oil. I don't think oil separates or anything, but I would guess that you'd probably be better off doing it that way. So you change the oil after you take it out of storage and then go for it. It is kind of nice to have it ready to go, though. It's all changed and done. But I think in that time frame, I don't think it really matters that much. But yeah, that's probably what I would do. I just think that the recommendation is you change it annually. So I wouldn't do it twice and just change it once. I think he's probably right about heat cycling and stuff, and there's some people who probably would know better than I. But I would, if it were me and I was storing for the winter, I would probably change it after the storage period. So I'd leave the used oil in the car in storage and then change it, fresh. So I had fresh oil when I, went out and started beating on it in the summer.
I'm glad we live down here. I couldn't imagine. That's crazy.
It's too cold here right now. It's 50 degrees. We're freezing our butts off.
All right, we got a question from Instagram here from Espen. I have a feeling that the vacuum cleaner test is just around the corner. You're very optimistic. Yeah. Can you say some of the different brands that you plan on testing? Here in Norway, Foma is one of the brands that is used a lot. Have you guys heard of it?
No, I've never heard of it, and I don't know. I keep doing crazy, buying Teslas and doing new stuff, and just kind of taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, we have a couple over there, actually, but we just haven't quite gotten around to it. Follow-up question from him there. Have you tried KEW, QDs for the MTM's guns?
No, I've seen those, but no, I've never used those.
Thanks for that question from Norway. Ophir wants to know, Matt, do you have a process or procedure for CSL coating maintenance? On their website, they just recommend iron and tar removal, but is there another SiO2 product to top it with to refresh its capabilities, and could you make a video on coating maintenance?
Yeah, I don't really do anything different than just wash it and then dry it. Use a drying aid, use a bead maker to dry it. And I find iron not to be a significant problem in pretty much everywhere in the United States. I don't know about other countries, but I just don't. Iron isn't like a huge deal. The problem is if you start, claying it or auto scrubbing, you're gonna scratch it all up generally, and so you're gonna have to redo it. I'm about to make a video on the Civic about stripping it off and starting over. So I tend to not do any maintenance. Just wash it and top it with a drying aid, and then whenever it starts getting contaminated, maybe 6 months after that, then I'm gonna strip it down and start over. Is how I'd treat it.
All right, let's see. Oh, regarding the weather here, Brendan says it's 91 degrees in SoCal right now. 8% humidity. What does that even feel like? That's crazy. Wow. Anthony, go back to the oil for just a second here. Oil changing. Anthony chimes in, says, change the oil before storage. Used oil can attract water and break down. Combustion can increase acidity in the oil, which can wear down the cylinder walls. If you're very concerned, use fogging oil too. Don't know what that is.
Interesting.
But look into that guy who asked the oil
So
question.
he's suggesting you change it before storage. That way it's fresh. And then...
It won't attract water and possibly break down. There you go.
Because it hasn't been heat cycled.
Or just change it both times just for fun. May as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's see. All right. Contra Beta says, hey guys, Happy New Year is in order. Quick question, which ceramic coating would you recommend that's not too hard to take off just in case?
Yeah, it's CSL XO for sure. Yeah, it's super easy to get off.
All right. And your thoughts on your pressure washer at home? Is it too much for car washing and light duty around the house?
My big one he's talking about, the one I have in the wash bay.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, you could do whatever you want. You could just change the size of the nozzle or change the spray, the angle of the pattern. But no, wait, you use it for, man, the thing's awesome. You can never have too much because you can just dial it back by changing the nozzle.
All right, let's see. Doug wants to know, he says he loves the channel. When will new products be added to the store for purchase that will go towards the garage giveaway? Don't think we're going to have it.
I don't know if we're going to get anything there in time, so we got what we got, I think.
Yeah, the Civic giveaway starts in the middle of February, and we'll have new stuff there, but we likely won't get any more for the garage giveaway. Let's see. J Craft says, what used first Porsche do you recommend? Specific year or engines or things to look for?
2014 or 15 991.1 Carrera S or Carrera GTS, if you can squeeze one of those, but those seem to be holding their value quite a bit more. And you got to go out and drive it and make sure it doesn't have the stumbling issue where it feels like there's a fish on the line at like 2,500 RPMs under moderate throttle. But other than that, that's the car that I want. Those things are awesome. So prior to the switch over to turbo.
All right, what's the price range on something like that?
I think they probably are now in the high 50s up to 125 grand, depending on what a low mileage GTS probably is still 120 plus. But yeah, a higher mileage 55, 60,000. So decent one, you're probably 80 or 90 to get like a low mileage Carrera S or C4S. I want the two-wheel drive is what I would want. The GTS has the wider fenders, and so it has the Carrera 4 body, but in a two-wheel drive version. That's the car. Those things sound. You get an AWE rear section and exhaust, and call it a day, man. Nothing else to do. Put a radar detector in it, and you're freaking awesome.
All right, let's see. From Instagram, 618 Developer says, would you ever consider doing an Inside the Hex video around all the software tools and platform that OG sits on, and also what holes current software is leaving you with?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will make something like that. Yeah, it's really pretty simple, but I have talked about it a little bit. I don't think I made a dedicated video to that, and I'm looking for some Hexcast content to create. So yeah, maybe I'll do that.
All right, let's see. Will says, I noticed some weird behavior from Beadmaker over CSL XO and several prior applications of Beadmaker in cold Northern California weather, 42 degrees. Is that typical? Such as beating / failure to flash / cure. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Beadmaker doesn't take well to freezing, but, I've noticed all kinds of issues with all humidity and stuff trying to get it off, but, yeah, I don't know. I've put it on at 40, 45 degrees before, and I hadn't noticed anything like that. But it was humid here, so maybe it's different when it's not so humid.
All right, Paul wants to know, Matt, are you still active as an investor?
No. I just give the money to the Merrill Lynch guy, and I say, don't frickin' call me, ever. I don't want to know. I don't care. I have no time for that.
All right, let's see. Chandler Ross wants to know, would you ever consider putting together a leadership course or weekend teaching seminar about your approach to business and life?
Ooh, yeah, I feel like such an infant that I could probably add some insight at where I'm at. Yeah, maybe I could but I'd have to put together some sort of curriculum for it. But knowing me though, I could probably just stand there and talk for 2 straight days on stuff. But I don't know. I probably not. But never say never, I guess.
Fortunately, you have a former curriculum writer sitting next to you. That's good.
Okay, there you go.
I shouldn't have said that. Billy Schaefer wants to know from Facebook: are you going to buy a TRX? Is that the Ram version of a Raptor kind of thing?
Oh, yeah, no. That since I didn't know what that was, then no, I don't think so.
None of that.
I couldn't handle a Dodge in my life. The interior is just so bad. I don't even care about interiors, but yeah, no Dodges for me.
All right, let's see. CJ has a good question here. After you left wealth management, you talk a lot about chasing passion. I find myself going 100% into anything new. How do you determine passion versus a new hobby?
Well, aren't they pretty much the same thing? I mean, if you're passionate, there's no such thing as a hobby. You know, you could get immersed into, let's say tomorrow you decide you're going to get into mountain biking. You're going to do research to a level that at some point will be valuable, right? And so that's kind of what's happened to me, is that I'm interested in something enough that I've chased it enough that, like, you know, all this stuff I talked about, all these trainings and all these things I've gone to and all the product and all the research and all the using and trial and error and screwing things up and figuring things out was just out of passion. And there was no grand design. It was a later epiphany that, well, then that has some value to certain people, you know. And so the more you chase, like, I think that, I might be wrong, but I think that all of this chase with all the Milwaukee stuff will have some value at some point. Value over just the general retailers just providing people the data. You know, after 2 or 3 years of me digging into the product line, I think that there might be some value there.
All right, and then looks like either Mike or Bryce chimed in here about the Raptor. The new Raptor is getting the GT500 V8 anyway.
We'll see about that.
Let's see. Anthony wants to know, will there be plans for a Hex-only community group? The Facebook group has become huge with people who haven't even been to the site or YouTube, don't understand things like denibbing.
Yeah, maybe I should just do that. What I was worried about is the people who weren't paid members anymore, but maybe I could just, if you are ever a member, you're like lifetime in the Facebook group. I don't know. I hate the idea of then nobody participates in the big group anymore, and it makes the big group all the good people, all the valuable people. But maybe I should stop thinking about that, and maybe we should just create that group. We'll do away with OG Core and do just the so we'll migrate and convert OG Core to OG Member, and so we'll set it up on the page that, hey, when you submit a request to join this group. Or maybe we could just go check once a week for new members and add them to the group. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. And then I won't have to go search for people. Let's do that.
All right, there you go. Bryce and Mike and whoever else is listening.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thanks, Anthony. Good idea. Yawn8181 says, new Dodge truck interiors are amazing. You need to check it out. You might change your mind.
Yeah, maybe. Check it out.
Matt John A wants to know, what could be a good choice for a first car?
That's a long one. I mean, again, I think you want something that, depending on how much money you got for maintenance, I think you want something that's going to work. Hondas tend to be good options for that. Toyotas tend to be good options for that. So I think a lot of it comes down to, I'd stay away from some wonky, BMW. You're gonna get some crappy old BMWs broken all the time. So I would look for something, Honda made, or Toyota, Scion, I think is a great first car, something like that. And you just, when you do it, just try to do it right. When you start modifying things and try to do what someone with means would do, and you just do it slowly. And so you chase nice stuff instead of a lot of little crappy things. Do a few nice things to the car. a nice set of wheels, but lower it before you put wheels on it. Those kind of things. Lower it and put spacers on first, and then lower it, and then buy wheels. So things like that.
There you go. There's a couple shots of the Dodge truck interior.
Yeah, maybe it's a lot of buttons there.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah,
like you're driving the space shuttle. All right. Cybertruck. Any interest in getting a Cybertruck instead of the next Raptor?
Maybe. Won't believe it when I see it.
All right.
Yeah, not right now.
Not much else going on there. I answered lots of questions.
I gotta go get the polishing.
Yep. Go finish polishing or get Rex to finish polishing, and we'll be back next week on the 22nd.
Yeah. Yep. Do it.
So thanks to everyone for chiming in the chat, providing us with questions, and supporting us. It's awesome. Thank you.
Cool. See you soon.